We're going to make a tarp shelter today. Hey guys, Justin with Backyard Bushcraft. So today we're going to be making a tarp shelter. I personally have never slept in a tarp shelter. In April, for a few nights, I'll be spending time at Cold Cracker Bushcraft, their beginner's bushman's class. I believe it's called the Appalachian Bush School. But you're not allowed to bring a tent. You're not allowed to bring a sleep pad. You're not allowed to bring a sleeping bag. They're going to teach you how to pretty much use the elements around you. And that's something I really can't wait to do. So this will be my first time even making a tarp shelter. Let's see how it goes.
One of the first things that I want to go over is the bag that I'm going to be using today. Obviously, we're not going on a tramp through the woods right now, but I love the ruck style backpacks, wide open, somewhere in the ballpark of like a 25 to 30 liter bag. I've been shopping all over, can't really find one that I love. I found a few that I like. But if anybody out there in the survival, bushcrafting, prepper, outdoor world has a recommendation for a bag and you're watching this video, by all means send it my way. I'd love to investigate further and try it out. I used to have a subscription to BattleBox. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's not a paid advertisement at all for them. Very cool, different tiers of membership. This is one of the bags that came with it. All right, so as you see, holding my axe, which I really bring everywhere when I do go outside. So I have it tied off to the bottom of my bag just so it's not shaking up and down while I walk, and obviously so it doesn't fall away or fall off. So that's number one. Number two, I have my 2 wool blankets rolled together. You'll notice that I have them ratcheted off with a Bushcraft ratchet strap system right there. No credit to me, all credit to Dan Woolwack for showing me that. The guy's awesome. I always keep saying it on my videos. There is a top pouch out here. Inside I have my gloves. Let me just get a little focus on this for you guys right here. All right. And then this is one big flap that opens up. Fire kit. This is just a cook kit that I got from Self-Reliance Outfitters that I wanted to try out if I happen to make a trek into the woods today, which it doesn't look like I'm going to. And then I have my 9x9 tarp that I'm going to be using today for my shelter. That's really it for the inside. On the outside, pockets, they're pretty big. I have my Bajo handsaw. I have a few stakes. These I don't think I'm going to be using today. I was using these a few days ago when I did try doing a tarp shelter. Didn't work out though, so that's why we're here today. And just a couple of cloths to protect my tarp when I go for the system shelter that I'm looking to do. And here's some cordage. And then I think on the other side, that should be it. So all in all, it's a pretty good bag. It's pretty big. It holds, what I need for today. Very minimal, material. But that's the bag that I have. It's not horrible. It's not my favorite, but it'll do for now, for sure. Here we have my blankets that are tied off to the bottom of the pack. It's got a cool little, support back system. It's not really a bushcraft, I guess, bag, but it'll do. All right, so the type of tarp shelter that I'm going to go for today is a teepee style tarp.
My tarp laid out. It's a 9x9 tarp. It's an oilcloth tarp, so this should really work well for me as far as keeping me dry and keeping me warm once I have this thing up. So I'm just going to get the stakes in, and then I'm going to start working it to the style that I think I'm going to use when I go to this bushcraft class. All right, now that I got the back staked in, Come over here, take this corner, best I can figure it out. Of course, keeping this tight.
I saved my Christmas tree because I knew I was going to be doing this in my backyard, and I need a support stick for the center of my tarp.
So this is probably about 4 feet tall, give or take. I'm going to use this as my teepee portion, or to obviously lift up my tent, or lift up my tarp, I should say. The last thing I want is to blow through the top of this bad boy. So, again, I'm in the backyard. I just grabbed a couple of bandanas out of my bag. Just to keep this in place for now. This is something that's not going to be perfect right away. You have to mess around with it, get it comfortable. It'll make it work for you. All right, and doing here is I'm just cleaning up the entrance a little. I'm still going to mess with it a little bit. I'm just going to make a taut line hitch, just so I have the ability to adjust this as I want. And I don't think I went over a taut line hitch in my knot video, but it's definitely a very good knot to know. As you see, we're using it right here. Okay, so behind me I have the tarp shelter. I'm gonna have to mess around with it a little bit. Obviously, like I said, I've never done this one before. I do have a tie line here, or a ridge line here, just to hold the front up, and it's pretty stake heavy, which I'm okay with. But the good news is, or the good thing is, I have the ability to take this ridge line down right here that's holding the front of this tarp up and drop it down. Privacy, whether maybe the weather gets a little crazy, I need to stay dry, but I have that ability. So let's take a peek inside. One thing I do notice right away is I'm probably gonna have to go a little taller with my center pole. All right, so I'm in the shelter, and like I said, probably, I mean, it's not a king size bed at a luxury hotel by any stretch of the imagination, but I have to say, you know, a little bit of adjustments that I can make will definitely help my situation out a little bit better. But for the most part, I'm pretty happy with it. I could probably go a touch higher with my pole. I don't know, actually, now that I think about it, now that I'm in here. But you're not having any parties in here. This is definitely, you know, come on in, sleep, store my gear right in the front here, which I don't plan on having a lot of gear, but there's definitely enough room to keep my gear dry and to fit my body. And I sleep in the same position for the most part all night long, so I'm not really worried about moving around too much. I'm not really worried about knocking things over, but this is actually a pretty doable situation for me. As you can see, I got a good, nice little entrance here. Let me see if I can focus in on that a little bit more. All right, and I got a lot of room. So, as far as being able to store my my gear, all right. So this is actually, I'd say on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm at a 6 right now as far as liking it. I don't love it, but I like it a lot. So we'll figure it out. All right, guys. So another really big component of this shelter is staying warm. And as we know, as outside guys and as campers and as bushcrafters and survivalists, the ground will take a majority of your heat from your body. So how we protect ourselves is by putting some type of bedding down. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna lay this all on the ground and create myself a nice bedding to lay on top of. So again, this is very important. The thicker this bedding is, the more insulation or space you have between you, your body, and the floor, the warmer you're going to be. I'm hoping when I get to Pennsylvania in April that I have something similar to this. If not, I'll use leaves, I'll use whatever debris I can find to give myself enough insulation between my body and the ground. And I'll also have my wool blanket. So again, you can see here in the back of my bag, I have my wool blanket. I actually have 2 of them. All right, so that's just an extra added level of insulation that I'll have when I'm sleeping, in the woods. Today, I really wanted to get to one more shelter, but I'm kind of pressed for time. I'd love to be able to make more videos more frequently, but having 3 kids, working full time, and this being truly a hobby and not really being in an environment where I'm surrounded by a lot of woods or a lot of opportunity to get outside to the woods without driving like 2 hours away. The videos are few and far between. I get my chops broken a lot by some of my friends talking about how I'm a bushcraft guy, I'm a survivalist, I'm a prepper, I'm an outside guy, and I should be outside more, or diving into the elements. I say no. Okay, if it's minus 15 degrees, if it's pouring out, if it's a blizzard, my safe space is my house, bottom line. If I happen to find myself out camping or hiking and those elements wind up taking me by surprise, then that's where the survivalist in me or the prepper in me or the bush guy in me will be able to take whatever skills he has and apply them to be able to survive the night or survive however long we are experiencing those harsh conditions. But for those out there that think that you should be throwing yourself in the middle of a tornado to gain that experience to save yourself, you're the first one that's going to die in an emergency type situation. Take it from me, I'm safe in my house, I'm safe in my car, and if I can avoid being freezing, or if I can avoid being wet and freezing, or if I can avoid any type of danger, that's the survivalist, that's the prepper, that's the bush guy in me, that's the smart guy that says we don't need to prove anything to anybody, but if the time does come, we will be prepared to handle that situation. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to mess around a little bit with this thing. I'm not going to throw any bedding in there like I said, but I'm going to try to get maybe 1 or 2 more videos regarding tarp shelters before April rolls around. Definitely leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this one. Also, like I said, the bag that I'm using is from BattleBox. It's a subscription service. This is not a paid advertisement for them. They have a few different tiers that you can sign up with. They send some really cool survivor gear on a monthly basis. Like I said, this is their bag. I don't remember which mission this came in, but this BattleBox bag is pretty dope. But you can go on their website, battlebox.com. I'll leave a link in my description. You can definitely check them out, and if you're interested, you can definitely sign yourself up for them. Like I said, it's not a paid subscription for them. I also used my Bajo handsaw. I love that thing. Like I said, it never leaves home without me whenever I do anything bushcraft or anything camping wise. I'll leave a link for that in my description as well. And One of my favorite tools that I just got is my Spyderco knife. This is my everyday carry knife. This thing is totally badass. Super sharp, very efficient, gets the job done. It's light, it looks big. It is actually pretty big. I mean, I'm a pretty big guy. I have a pretty big hand. This fits in, you know, this fits in my hand very comfortably though. But it's a very cool knife. I'm going to leave this in my description as well. A link for Cold Cracker Bushcraft. Again, not a paid advertisement, but I am going to be taking their beginner bush beginner. Let me say that again. I am going to be taking their beginner bushman class in April. So you can check them out there. I get a lot of my gear from them. Dan Warwack is 3 stars across as far as I'm concerned. So new to Backyard Bushcraft is I have an affiliates page set up with Amazon. So pretty much how that works is any type of product that I will mention in my video, I'll leave a link to that product. If you click on that product in my description, it will bring you to my Amazon affiliates page. And obviously, if you buy anything that I showcase or anything that I mention, it absolutely helps me out and my page out, helps me grow. So that's it, guys. I didn't really dive too much into the bag. I'll do that next time for sure. As far as, you know, an in-depth look at what I'm carrying. This was really just to get outside and practice what I'm going to be doing in a couple of months in April. But that's really it for me today. If you like what you saw, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, ring that bell so you're notified every time I make a new video. I really appreciate you checking me out. This is Justin with Backyard Bushcraft, signing out.